talking distant. He was talking distantly about the gunshots and all the and the stabbings and stuff like that. It's amazing when you think about it what a doctor or a nurse does in a hospital. So it's crazy stuff. So he sees the best at Mayo. He sees the worst at County. Alan Holmes.
I had to go in the emergency room last year, the beginning of the year, and they they had me in a cart outside waiting with all these other people that were waiting, and that's what I saw: people with gunshots and
Oh,
people that were really in bad shape, car accidents and all that kind of thing. Boy, it made me go, why am I even here?
yeah, it's crazy stuff. Just it kind of puts you in an understanding of where you fit in the world. When you go
I
to a
just
hospital,
there.
you see the best and the worst. Crazy stuff. All right, so everybody's jumping on board here right now. So that's a good thing. Other people can talk besides me and Roy.
Yeah,
Chit
please.
chat. Anything new and exciting with people?
Um,
Nothing.
It's
well,
Groundhog Day.
yeah, it is that. Um, I'm going through a book that I wrote earlier and revising it. It's called The Essential Excuse Handbook, 77 Ways to Keep from Doing Anything at All. And somebody who had bought some of them from me pointed out there were typos in it. So I've gone back in and I said, I know that because I just kind of slapped it out there. But anyway, so I'm going through and rewriting it and adding to it, and then I'm going to reload it onto Amazon. So I don't know if that's exciting, but it's new. So,
Betty, that sounds like a work in progress. I'm sure you can find a lot more ways to not do things.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I mean, exactly. Only 77 excuses? Come on. But they're the ones that just popped right up to mind, and ones that I had either heard from people who were procrastinating their projects, used myself, or accepted from someone else, which is all the same thing. So that's what started it. And there will be more volumes, Phil, because there are many more excuses than only 77.
And
Yeah.
this is and the purpose of this book is to help people to figure out ways to get out of work. Is that the
Well, it's kind of, no, it can be both. As I point out in the introduction, if you really want nothing to happen, just choose an excuse and run with it. But if, on the other hand, you do want something to happen in your life, look at what the excuse is. Like, what it starts with, what the excuse says that it is. What you say when you're making the excuse. Then it's what you're actually saying in your energetic field and to yourself when you're making that excuse. And then there's some questions about, how did this happen? What could you do about it? How could you look at the situation differently? So not just leaving you stranded there with your excuses. Although, like I say, if all you want to do is laugh off your own life, grab an excuse and write it for all it's worth.
Yeah, it's interesting, as a writer, like as an editor, is doing what you do, that you have to overcome all the reasons and objections of why people won't get started on a project, right? Why they won't write about it. So it's
That's
interesting.
exactly why I started this book, because of someone who had all these great ideas and all these things that were obviously to me excuses. And I went, right, okay, rather than just be annoyed with her for being who she is, use this for something creative. And so I wrote the book. And then I found out what an expert I am, because I too have used so many of these excuses. Oh boy. It got pretty uncomfortable there for a while, Phil, but
Interesting.
All
Interesting.
right, so it's 5 minutes after the hour. Scott Harrell called me and texted me. He sounds sick as a dog, so he's not going to make it today. And one of our things that we were going to do is to go through people's LinkedIn profiles and talk about what they like or dislike about the profile. So I started out with, so if everybody can also open up another screen and go to Betty Withrow.
Hey,
Betty's in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat
all
right
right,
now.
Betty. I
All
hope you're
right.
up to date, Betty. Yeah, let's see here.
I think I am, but you know, tell me what you see.
Let's,
So anyway, what I see is as your book creation coach, which is great. Hold on, I gotta join some people in.
all right.
I will be your every step of I will be with you every step of the way. Content creation, then there's a slash, editing, slash, ghostwriting, slash, video, coaching and production, slash, clarity and momentum that brings it all together. You know, that's pretty cool. I gotta tell you, you know, maybe it's too early, I don't know. But I like what you wrote. Anybody have any thoughts?
Yeah, if I can, I mean, Betty, yesterday I was talking to a guy who they said, I want to write a book, I want to put it down, and he's seriously bipolar, and has his life experiences, are such that he hasn't written it down, he doesn't have a draft, but I've known him for many years, but he's been through a lot of ups and downs, manic depressed, where he's stable now, but he can reflect back on years and years, all of the trials and tribulations of being seriously bipolar. Now that's impacted his life, and he wants to write about it. Is that somebody that I would refer to you, or I mean, because I think you'd need to be a psychologist as well as a editor and ghostwriter to help him. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Well, it's kind of borderline, Phil, because I mean I could be a coach for him, but I cannot be a therapist. That's unethical. And I tend to not get involved with people that are real edgy, but sometimes I do, because especially if they've gone through the dark night of the soul and they have a message to bring back to us, that can be very valuable. So I would have to actually talk to the guy to know if I'm a good fit for him.
I'll keep that in mind. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah.
This is Alan. Once again, when Phil speaks, he causes my entrepreneurial brain to kind of shake in a good way. The reason why I bring that up is because if Betty decided to speak to him, I would love to maybe try to collaborate, because I don't talk about this much, but my wife suffers mental illness with bipolar, and I was thrown into this back in actually 2007, because I didn't know that she had it, and it is a very interesting roller coaster that when individuals have a mental illness, there's several kinds, and I won't take up the whole call, but long story short, you find certain talents and skills in individuals, and you're thrust in some things that it really is not shared. It's kind of not discussed at the dinner table. And I realized that on a regular basis, me not being a psychiatrist, Betty, for example, I've been on business calls where my wife had an episode and I had to switch to husband / caregiver, because the law enforcement was knocking at the door with a very angry look, and I didn't know she had called the police. And of course, me and my master connector status switched to how can I help you, and turned it into a conversation where it de-escalated the situation. So this is a topic that sometimes things go in a direction that you never know, but I can honestly say I know you have the skills, Miss Betty, because community is the essence of business. I am the master connector for building it.
Uh,
You're the one who actually helped me come up with
Oh.
that concept, by the way.
Oh,
Thank
you're-
you.
It's a mental illness.
Right.
Coach yeah, I think Coach Kevin, you got to mute yourself there.
Oh,
But Alan, I'd really appreciate what you're saying there. It would be, I feel the same way. I think that there's, in this particular individual, there is a great story to tell there, but obviously it's like a jigsaw puzzle with 500 pieces. You'd have to be able to put that together. But I think there's an important message, and I think there's millions of people out there that could benefit from sharing some of these experiences and the knowledge about that bipolar condition. But anyway, that's a topic. I'll maybe you can have an initial conversation, or if you don't mind, I can talk to him about making, contacting you if you think that might be a fit.
Yeah, Phil, why don't you call me on the phone after this meeting and let's talk about that. I think you have
Will
my
do.
number. I'm pretty sure I have
I
your.
do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's a topic that everyone should be talking about because it's everyone that I know has someone that has been affected by illness. And as I inadvertently was mentioning to my guests, unbeknownst that I was on speaker, I deal with this with my daughter. The bipolar, the whole depression, and all of those things, and us having the ability to just let them know that we're present. It is an illness, and to be on a meeting like this and have my daughter have an episode upstairs, everyone on this call would hear it. So I totally identify with what you're saying. And I'm going to mute myself and then hop in the vehicle and participate from there. Thanks.
May I broaden the discussion, because it's not just I've never experienced bipolar unless I feel like I'm having a discussion with my wife. But outside of that, on a serious note, the reactions from bipolar are also similar to those who suffer from dementia. You never know what to expect, when to expect, and you could be in the middle of it. And I'm not here to complain or anything else. I'm glad I could be around to be the caregiver I was at the time. But there's so many similarities, and there's so many things that need to be done to protect both the individual who's suffering, as well as the family that's dealing with it, as well as the community that also is affected by it. So I'll just give you one example. In the case of my mother-in-law, the police already knew that she called there to do a double check before they come to the house, because of the fact she had dementia. And there are other things that people need to do in the process they may not even be aware of as they see this sort of thing occurring. So from my perspective, a book on that and possibly broadening it to other conditions that are similar and what protections are needed may be helpful from that perspective, as opposed to exclusively one person's experience with bipolar condition. And even with bipolar, there are multiple realms within it, as I understand it. But I'm sure that your contact, Phil, probably could correct me and elaborate much further if I am right.
Sure. I mean,
So
I think this is an interesting case where I think this particular individual is very bright. I mean, to me, is of course bipolar disorder has nothing to do with intellect. It can be very, very smart, very sharp individual, but he's now come through his life. He's come to a realization about that he's accepted that he is bipolar. And so his perspective on writing would be to talk about, these are the choices and decisions that I made. And, it may help people out there, or people better understand, looking at it from the perspective of the person who is suffering from that, or who has that disorder, and how he handled it, and what other choices could be made. Anyway, I think that's why I brought it up. When I think, as a ghost writer, that's maybe all of us. It's just amazing to me on this call, how many of us are familiar or have dealt with bipolar disorder. It's just a fact of life. It's there, and it is difficult to deal with. So understanding it better would help, on all sides, people that have it and the people that have to deal with it, or affected by it.
And may I say something? I had a guest on my radio TV podcast yesterday, Alan Stevens. He's from Australia. He is a profiler who uses his skills to help business as well as in the mental health realm. And he has a project called the Campfire Project. that helps people with mental health issues. And he's created a safe space for people to share their stories so they can release their pain. And he can actually really help these people a lot. So you guys should listen to that show. It's on Debbie Changes Lives. I'll put the link in, put like a short link in here. But he's amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to see Debbie, if you can share that link and that information, that sounds great.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to share. I'll do that.
Good stuff. I mean, it's kind of interesting. We were starting to look at people's profiles because I've been studying keywords and key phrases for about 30 years. Not that long, but I got into the internet 31 years ago. But around 1980, I really delved very heavily into search engine optimization. And that's where this whole thing really took off. So the world keeps changing, doesn't it? I'd like to look at people's profiles where we can talk about what are the strong keywords and key phrases that people have in their profile that they to be able to talk. So I'm going to pull up Debbie Boris.
I did this myself, so thank you.
Eileen has something she wants to say.
Go for it. Eileen? Can't hear you, Eileen.
Did she disappear?
You're muted.
Sorry, she's on mute.
Hi there. How would you like a guest of honor? I suffer from bipolar. And actually I was going to pull up a link if any of your loved ones or you yourself, there's a support group on Monday nights at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And it's for depression, bipolar. We have one guy that has schizophrenia. So if you ever want to know anything, I can share my experience with you. I was a late onset. I was 50 when it started. And so that's not typical. Usually it starts as teenagers or young 20s. So, but, yeah. So anyway, I don't usually fess that up, especially business wise, but I thought, well, you know what, if it helps one person, then it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We all agree to that. Anybody else want to chime in on this stuff? This whole thing started by looking at people's profiles on LinkedIn, because what I've found is, other than the people that are here that I've worked on their profiles with, they're woefully inadequate. And LinkedIn is a search engine. It's a keyword, key phrase search engine. Anybody ever heard of Boolean search? If you put quotes around at the beginning of the first word, and you put a quote at the end of the last word that you're searching, it'll only pull people that have that phrase in their profile. So one of the things that you really want to make sure you're doing, and I was just looking at Betty Withrow, she's got some pretty good, she's got a good profile. The trouble is that most people are very, very inadequate. Debbie, yours needs a lot of work.
Well, I did it myself, so I know.
Well, give me a call. I'll help you through it.
Okay.
I'll give you some suggestions that might help you.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Damar Lewis, you there?
I've got one input on LinkedIn there where it asks you to put in your pronouns. There's several options. You got he, him, she, her, they, them, and then custom. And since I don't do the other things, the pronouns I think are pretty obvious for me, but I changed custom to business plan expert, and you can type in anything you want.
There you
So
go.
that's a little more useful, I thought.
Yeah, no, that's good, Bert. Damar, are you there yet?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. I sent you what I recommended for your profile.
Okay.
So get back to me on it, because the one thing you're talking about being a business coach, and you don't
Yeah.
have business coach in your profile. So that, and if you do it as a Boolean search, people that are looking for a business coach, they'll find you more readily on LinkedIn if you put a comma before or after the first word and the last word. Okay.
Okay.
So take a look at what I suggested for you and get back to
Okay.
me. Who else?
Thank you.
Who else wants to have their profile looked at?
Yeah,
I would like to have my profile looked at.
Okay, hold on a second.
So it would be Curmudgeon.
Okay.
We're close. I can get away with that one.
I like being called Travel Daddy.
Yes. Yeah, no, that.
Okay. Corey Northington, legal services, comma, lead generation, comma, business connector, comma, referral partner, comma, identity theft, comma. This undoubtedly was written by people at Legal Shield to help you with that, right?
You're
No,
you're into
No, I put that mostly in myself.
Really?
So,
You want to go to work for me? No, just kidding.
it's not.
If he did that himself, he did good on his own, huh, Bob?
Yeah.
Sure
I
did.
mean, so basically, I looked at other like what I did was I looked at other profiles of fellow legal shield associates and some professionals, and I said, oh, like this and everything, and kind of just added it to my own and what. So
No, it's excellent. You did a good job. Because it's pulling the essence of who you want people to find you by. Right?
yes.
You did good. Okay.
Thank you.
Who's got another one? Who else is out there?
Oh, okay, Mr. Bob, I will go and throw myself under the bus.
Okay. Paul Levine, let's go take a look at yours. I also made some recommendations. So let's go see.
Let's take a look at me.
I'm looking at Paul Levine's right now. Oh, I looked at yours the other day and I was going, wow, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. He's got commercial real estate advisor. He's a retired CPA. That's always good. Tax experience. Commercial realtor, has income tax consultant and unmatched creatively.
Creativity.
Oh, creativity. Sorry. Yeah, I think we could do some more work on this, Paul.
I just wrote down that I wanted to talk to you about it.
Oh, good timing. Yeah. Well, I also think I suggested it the other day, but yeah, we need to get together and talk about how to strengthen it. Your partner, his profile was woefully inadequate, horribly inadequate. And you want to mention his name here?
Fred Sams.
Fred Sams. I've known Fred for many, many years. And so the next thing we have to do is work on his profile to build some strength. And what I'd recommend doing is yours and his should be different. Okay? because then you're going to have a bigger pool of keywords and key phrases that you can pull from. And you can be exhaustive with keywords and key phrases, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who else? I bet you David Thies is really good. So let's see.
I was going to raise my hand next, so you read my mind, Bob. But I haven't updated my profile in about a year, so I've also been behind on posting. So I think this is timely to get me back on the LinkedIn train.
Yeah, very, very timely. I think we gotta, yeah, we got some work to do.
Mm-hmm.
We got some real work to do. So I can't wait to talk to you about that. Okay, Burke, I bet you yours is a 1,000%. Let's pull you up. Are you guys, is this helping you? Feedback, please.
It is.
Yes, I think it is. Yes.
Good. Glad to hear that. Oh, Burke's is, let's see.
Bob, do you want to pull it up and share so what you're looking at, we see, and what you're commenting on?
Nah, you pull it up on your own.
Okay.
Pull it up on your own. Because then it eats a lot of data, a lot of bandwidth to pull all this stuff.
Okay.
So, but he's got first word he has business plan builder, and the first word he has out there is secure, collaborative online dashboard loaded with done for you templates for business. That's a lot to bite off, but I'm sure. And then there's a slash, strategic plans, policies and procedures, comma, plus business. You know, Burke, I think we should spend a little bit of time talking about how you can pull more Boolean search type of phrases in your profile. Okay, so we need to. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, I'm not sure people are searching for me on LinkedIn to be found that way. I use it more as a landing page to send somebody to if they want to see it, so I'm mostly looking around for other people on LinkedIn. I do the Boolean search for, business consultant, not insurance, for example. Then I have a separate one that would be business insurance, to consult, something like that. Anyway, yeah, I'm using LinkedIn mostly to outreach, and then if you come back and find me from that.
Well, this is all very, very powerful foods for thought.
What I don't know how to do, what you might explain is, we publish a blog post. It can go to LinkedIn and Facebook, but it doesn't, once it's there, not many people see it just because of the way the system works. How do you publish something on LinkedIn where it goes to everybody? Like, I've got 9,600 and something followers here. It doesn't send my post to all 9,600 of them. It sends it to about 30 of them. So I think Facebook does the same thing. What can you do on LinkedIn so you can put a post so all your followers get it? Because why the hell are they followers if they're not interested in hearing what you've got to say?
And you are doing a post.
I'm doing posts. And I think I need to do newsletters, but it doesn't seem easy to do a newsletter.
It's very easy, Burke. It's very easy. I do a newsletter every week.
All right.
Yeah, I can tell you how to do it. It's really simple.
Okay. Hey, Bob, on that note, does anyone have any updates on LinkedIn's algorithms? Back to what Burke was saying, because I know definitely on Instagram and Facebook, we're pretty limited in terms of getting our messages out to only 10% of our connections.
That's a good question. Honestly, I'm diving into all this right now, including blogs. Eddie, who was on the picture of Mycity on there, instead of his face, it's got the image of Mycity on there. He's the head of my social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're absorbing this stuff because it's tremendous foods for thought, right? What do you do? How's it change? The world's changing, man. How are you incorporating AI into your LinkedIn? I have programmers that are incorporating AI into mycity.com right now. And the other thing I'd like to hear is some feedback about how we can can sharpen Mycity and the results and looking at it. So all of you have an account on Mycity. And you also have data that we publish for you individually on Mycity. And I'm looking for ways that we can enrich and start sharing information across that website as well. I mean, I'm like all over the board here, I think you can see, but there's so much going on. Have you ever seen as much stuff? Yeah, please.
Yeah, just Alan. One of the things that I did see Betty, by the way, congratulations. I saw her publish. I think I liked it earlier this week. A great article. It was about getting your message. It was incredible. But I bring that up is because maybe we could have, quote unquote, we talked about before, a posting party, because I went to one a couple of weeks ago. And when you put hashtag, for example, hashtag Russell, hashtag Roy, hashtag Mycity, when somebody sees that, they will then, it hyperlinks and it clicks to that person's profile, which then will lead them to have a conversation and engaging. And I never knew that. I've been on LinkedIn for good 10 years, and I just learned that about 2 weeks. And what that does is it starts the engagement of your followers. And I know it works because I had at least 3 people reach out to me that I hadn't talked to in about 5 years because of a hashtag. And
yeah, hashtags are important. So another thing to think about in your profile is how do you incorporate hashtags?
So Bob, when you post something, when you put a post on LinkedIn, what percentage or what's the limit on how many of your followers or connections see that? Do you any idea?
No idea whatsoever.
Does anybody know?
It's really.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you something, Alan. The posting party is not just the tags. What a posting party is supposed to do is get 15, 20, 30 people together on a Zoom call. Each of the individuals puts up a post and shares the link to that post with everybody in the room. And everybody in that room is supposed to comment on that post. Now, the algorithm that LinkedIn uses, the more people that comment on a post in a defined short period of time, LinkedIn considers that post very valuable. And when it considers it very valuable, it puts out more of your connections. I used to go to posting parties when I had more free time. And when I posted something in a posting party, 1,000 or 2,000 or even 3,000 of my connections saw that post.
Understood. Okay. No, I may have said it wrong, but thank you for clarifying that, because I was just coming up with some ideas. But thank you so much for clarifying, because sometimes I'm not a technical person. Bob has helped me so much in the different things, like for example the message he's put out for me. But I understand what you're saying.
Hey, Bill, do you have any insights on the creator mode within LinkedIn and whether or not, utilizing that platform would create, better engagement? Because I think there's, an opportunity, or it could be an opportunity there. I'm just kind of curious to see if you have any thoughts on it.
Well, let me give you a variation of the posting party. What people do is, because nobody has time to get together on a Zoom and do it, if you could get 15 or 20 people on a joint message on LinkedIn where everybody says, okay, on Tuesday morning, I'm going to go on to this message and everybody's going to do posts. And I have to look at that message and I have to comment on those posts. So it's not an official posting party. But again, the more people that comment on your post, the more people of your connections and others will look at it. And you could go into your profile and see how many people viewed that particular post. I know somebody, and I'm going to be talking to him later next week, who got 50,000 views on his YouTube video. And the other one he got was 30,000. And he's an SEO expert, and he pushes SEO to get the people to view his YouTube video. He posts it in a lot of different places, and it seems to be working.
When you get Bill, when you get up to 30 or 50,000, then you can monetize that, right? I would imagine the system will monetize that type of exposure.
Well, no, his videos are to get him business.
I see.
He's not looking to get, hey, come watch my YouTube channel, and then I get sponsors. No, when he gets 50,000 views, he gets some of them. Wow, I saw your YouTube video. I want to become a client of yours. And think about it. If you only get 1% turnaround, hey, he's not going to be able to handle it.
We've done posting parties in this group. I actually have it in my calendar every week to do a posting party, and we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Shame on us.
Before you go further, Ed earlier had mentioned about having one done for him, and I may have thrown everything off the track when I referred to him affectionately as my favorite Karagian. So why don't you look at his as well, Ed Cincinnati.
Okay. Comments, people, feedback.
Yeah, just also acknowledging that that's what I do every day, Monday through Friday, is I'm part of a posting group, or it's really an accountability group. So I comment on theirs, but then what I also find is that also leads to other people that I'm potentially interested in, or comments that resonate for me. So just I think it is a good way to find out what you're looking for when when you're fishing in LinkedIn, because it is just a big sea. And so from that standpoint, I think the posting party really has two objectives. One, to get your message out, but also to see who else is out there that might be a potential either client or a power partner.
Well, you came on a little bit later today, and I was talking about people's profiles. I sent you a comment about putting business coach in your profile, and I never got any feedback from that. Business coach is really important, especially as a Boolean search for you. That's who you're targeting, right? Am I right?
Right.
You're looking for people that you want to sell your services as a business coach. True?
Yeah.
Okay.
True. And yeah, no, that point is not lost. So I do need to update it. But also I've had prospects come from me just commenting on a post that they put in. So I'm just saying that that it's a two-way street with that. But yes, it's I think the more touches we have, the more likely, and the right information in the right spot, the more likely we're going to get results from it.
Building brand. We're building brand here. And especially if you think about it, LinkedIn is now over 1 billion members. Okay. So do we have your permission to put business coach in your profile?
Yes. Actually, I would like business profits strategist.
We could do both, maybe. I might be out of space, but
yeah. And so
you add that in there and make sure
no. Because I really, when you think of the feedback that I got when I was talking to someone, when they said coach, it means like you're gonna focus on helping me, with employee engagement and all these other things. And as opposed to what I really want to help people on is quickly how to be more profitable, because profits is what feeds their family.
Okay, so let's,
Revenue feeds, revenue does nothing for their businesses.
okay, so let's do this. Mycity, put in business profit strategist in Damar's profile, please. And when you're done, let me know, and then I'll share it with Damar to make sure it's in there correctly. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay? All right.
How about Ed Cincinnato? Do you want to go to his site and see what you find there on his LinkedIn?
Yeah, let me pull him up here. Hold on a second. Is it under Ed Cincinnato or Edward Cincinnato? I don't remember. Hold on.
Edward Cincinnati and Associates. Green
That-
Vacations.
Okay. That's, what about your personal profile on LinkedIn? What is
Oh,
your,
I don't use a personal profile on LinkedIn. Only use the business profile.
really? You want people talking to you?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, hold on.
Can
let
you
me see.
have multiple profiles on LinkedIn?
Well, a business profile is different than a personal profile. So
Okay.
what do I have here? I have, hold on, I'm pulling you up.
I think what Ed means is like it is a personal profile. It's not like a business page, whereas like I work for Preferred Funding Group, there's a business page.
Right.
It is his personal. He has it focused on Edward Cincinnati and then
Right.
his company name as well.
Yeah, your profile is Edward Cincinnato and Associates. That's a personal page. That's
Okay.
what your personal page is. I think you need to do both. I think you need to have a business page up there, and I think you need to have a personal page, well, which it is, which I would amend, and you could put a whole bunch more content, below your, it's called the heading, is all the information about you, which are you getting, let me put it here, here's a good question for each of us, right? Are you getting much traffic to your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, I get a fair amount.
Where do you go to find the answer to that question?
Well, you'll see it in the volume. So you're seeing every day, my staff working on your account, or every week, you'll see a growth of your connections. Now, the next thing is, hey, there's two parts to LinkedIn that I talk about all the time. One is the invite message, and then the second part is a follow-up to what we call first email messaging, okay? Where we are sending out content on your behalf, okay? And that could incorporate postings, and it should incorporate postings, because LinkedIn is really driving people to do more posting. And that's where they created so many followers as a result of that. So
I get auto posting from Rallyo that goes onto my LinkedIn, goes onto my LinkedIn and my Facebook page. And it's the content is travel driven, and that's how I know I'm getting feedback, because people respond to it, like it or something, and I'll respond to them and say, hey, let's have a conversation about that location.
did Dream Vacation suggest all this to you?
They provided, it's part of my franchise
Got it.
So they provide Rallyo for free. Um, not really free because I pay a franchise fee every month. And royalties. So it's, they say it's free, but we all know that's not true. But it's auto content that's driven, that's travel focused, different locations. Hey, do you know where this place is? That kind of thing. And people, it's almost like a game.
All right, let me ask the group. Are you getting benefit from this? If you are, please let me know. That this is vital. Right?
And to answer Russell's question a little bit, and for anybody else who wants to kind of find a little bit of that analytic for your profile views, if you have the free profile, it only kind of gives you some numbers, doesn't show you the profiles. But if you pay for it, it will kind of show you profiles that are visiting, like a larger number of profiles that visit your page. And in your notifications tab, if you ever get a notification that says 10, 3, 5, whatever number profiles viewed yours, then you can click on that and it brings you to an analytics page that will tell you how many people have viewed your profile in the past 90 days with the free service. And if you pay for it, you just get some more info for LinkedIn Premium.
With the paid service, does it tell you who they are? Because I know what you're talking about. It kind of like grays out the you can see can see how many there were, but you can't tell where they came from.
Yes. So
on the page
with the free service, it gives you 5 viewers. So generally the 5 most recent viewers that viewed your page. If you pay for premium, you get to view more of the actual profiles that have viewed your page. And then, yes, as you're mentioning, with the free service, it says viewers you might be interested in. It says, well, people from my own company, 8 work at Preferred Funding Group, but the photo is blurred out. And then it says 5 work at Ascension Funding Group. But if I paid for it, then I could see more of those 5 people that work at that company.
So it'll actually tell you who they are rather than just saying, hey, 5 people we've reviewed you. Guess who they are.
With the free service, it does give you 5 names. A little bit below it says viewers you can browse for free, browse up to 5 viewers without premium.
Okay.
So it does show you the 5 most recent. If you just randomly, you get those notifications, they pop up in my notifications tab a lot for so-and-so viewed your profile, or this many people have viewed your profile today.
Yeah,
you can click.
They pop up in my email.
Yep. Yeah. If you go to LinkedIn, go to your notifications, click on that, it'll bring you to that little analytics page.
Don't we get that once a week anyway?
I don't know if you might get an email. I kind of turned off a lot of those spam emails from LinkedIn because they send a lot of stuff. But so I just check my notifications tab whenever, I'm on it every day because I use LinkedIn. So like this morning, Peyton Williams and 14 others viewed your profile. And I got that notification 2 hours ago. I just click on that. That gives me that info.
I get a ton of people from Singapore that want to connect with me.
Yeah, right.
Any marriage proposals?
I would say about a third of my time on LinkedIn is blocking and reporting fake profiles. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I get 2 or 3 beautiful Chinese women expressing interest in me every day. It's wonderful.
Who, by the way, don't use Chinese names.
Hey guys,
no, they don't.
You're going to be sent a recording of this our meeting. Don't tell my wife, okay? Because I've got like 5 or 6 Chinese wives.
What do you have? One wife for each platform?
There you go.
Lived in Utah for 15 years. That's not unusual, Bob.
Yeah. Well, my wife and I just hit our 40th wedding anniversary. And so that means that we've been going to marriage counseling for 41 years.
Good thing she's not on the call today.
Yeah, she was
made somebody rich anyway.
She knows. Last year I was saying we were married for 39 years, gone to marriage counseling for 40. If we hadn't gone, if if we had not gone to marriage counseling, there's no way in God's creation we would have ever gotten married. It was the best thing that ever happened because it allows you to communicate, right? Isn't that what's happening? By the way, my daughter's got her doctorate in psychology. So
You're locked in.
I know, I have no choice.
Bob, if we
Now,
can, I
get
appreciate, can we,
information
go
I'm sorry,
ahead.
go ahead, Phil.
No, Alan,
Oh,
go
no, I
ahead.
was saying that I was going to say that, Bob, that's some interesting information you just shared, because my wife psychiatrist is also a marriage counselor, so you know what kind of sessions we have. She, matter of fact, without going to the personal things, because obviously, one of the questions she asked me, she said, Alan, what have you been doing? I said, oh, what in the world? How in? So she kind of switched it on. So it's a very interesting. I got put on the hot seat the other day because of that. So I understand what you're saying. Go ahead, Phil.
No, I was going to say, if we have time, I appreciate if we take a look at my my profile, and I appreciate the group's comments. Anything you say about what could be improved on that?
While we're doing that, I got a question. Which one of these LinkedIn paid services is worth doing? Is Sales Navigator the one to get? What helps with the Boolean searches and that kind of things? I do market research to find the kind of customer base I'm looking for. But do I need Sales Navigator? Which thing is it? The $100 subscription, the 51? Which one's worth having?
Well, Sales Navigator gives you a deeper ability to see more information about the individual. And I think that's, Phil, did you change your, oh no, there it is. No, yeah, Phil, you and I need to talk. Did you change your profile?
Yeah, they didn't. It looks like LinkedIn changed it. I didn't
No,
change it.
LinkedIn doesn't change profiles.
Then I didn't, but it looks like it's changed.
Is there anybody else that has access to your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, everybody could see the look.
No, I didn't. No, I say, is there anybody, Phil? Is there anybody else that has does anybody else have access to your LinkedIn profile to make those changes? That's what I was referring to, Bob.
Oh no. To your
profile? No. Well, in essence, I have a LinkedIn account. My wife doesn't know it. There's nothing nefarious. My point is, maybe certain people who work for me, which I don't have now, but maybe certain people may have access to it because they're trying to pull up information or whatever on my behalf. So I'm wondering if there's someone who works for you that may have access to your LinkedIn that may have made changes that you weren't aware of.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm glad you spoke up, because I'll tell you this much: your profile is woefully inadequate. Neuro-N-Train Sciences LLC. That doesn't tell anybody anything.
Wait a minute, what are we looking at now?
Yeah, let's go back to Phil. Seriously, I'll be glad to have that. I'm not trying to duck it. We can do comedy hour next week. Let's we can concentrate on his right now. And I'll be glad to have that conversation.
Look, here's the bottom line, gang. I've been studying keywords and key phrases forever. I started doing SEO before the term even existed. I used to call it search engine placement. SEO won out. So I've been studying this stuff forever. Your profile, it's right underneath your name is what you're all about. And if you don't have it in there, the likelihood is people are not going to find you on LinkedIn. Okay? That make any sense to people?
Yeah, but we have to go over something. My profile has changed. All my language, a lot of the information I had in there is not there. I didn't change that. So we need to find out why.
Well, that wasn't my staff. I'll tell you that much. That's not something they would do. So somebody had to have changed your profile. So we need to get back on the phone, Phil.
Okay.
Bottom line. And this goes for, I'd say, I got on this kick again about a week ago of looking at people's profiles and looking at what they've done to their profiles. Are they powerful enough? You know, it's LinkedIn is a search engine. It is a search engine on vocations, right? At the end of the day. So you attract people by what you have in your profile. That's your heading right below your name, your heading. Okay. And if you're not using up all the, you have about 2.5 lines of information that you could publish on your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn does not change stuff without your permission. They don't do it. So somebody went in and changed your profile right below your name, whether you got hacked or whatever you did. So we need to
All right, well,
talk.
I'm gonna need you to look at that and figure out how we're going to, whether you can pull that back up and recreate that or go back, or you have a copy of that from the past.
Ooh, I doubt it. I don't think we have. No, we don't have copies of what was up there before. But listen, I can build the heading underneath people's names with my eyes shut.
Mm-hmm.
Know what it is. Okay. So for you, it's people that selling a business, buying a business. Okay. What do you want to, what do you want to emphasize? Are you selling your business? Are you thinking of buying a business? These are all things that will strengthen your profile.
Oh, no, I had all that in there. That's why I'm saying I'm looking at this. So something there's, that's all. That was all I had. A very lengthy explanation with all of that in there.
Well, somebody changed it. It wasn't our staff. That's not something we would do. You just have simply business broker at Zoom Business. That's all you have. So let's talk about that. So we
Sorry,
can,
I mean, we'll have to recreate it. That's all.
we got a bunch of hashtags. You've got hashtags of business broker. Business.
Yeah, that was it. But it's missing the whole content is not there. The whole content of the profile is not there.
Yeah. I have no idea why that was changed.
And that's like very recently.
May I ask you a question? Is it worth it for Phil to send a note to LinkedIn asking about the change as opposed to just ignoring it and just redoing it?
No, better ignore it. Just redo it.
Okay.
It's bizarre.
Phil, you may also want to consider, since this has happened recently, changing your login, your passwords and stuff. Because there is hacking going on. I responded to someone and they said, no, I'm not really interested. Someone hacked my profile. And so from that standpoint, and it's probably been about the second one in the last probably 6 months where the person said no, said that their profile got hacked. So
okay, well, I appreciate that information. So yeah, Bob, you and I will have to talk about that and figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a quick question if you can answer it.
Go for it.
You can get verified now on LinkedIn, and it was using my Clear information because I have a Clear account, and my Clear account is actually my full name, but my LinkedIn profile has Debbie Voris, and it wouldn't accept. How do I get around that?
Wait, you have?
Well, some people have Clear, which gets you through the airport faster,
right.
And it's quite a long name, and I don't want that on my profile. So Debbie Voris is what I want, but it won't verify me because my Clear has this really long name. How do you get around?
Oh, interesting. Let me look you up here.
While you're looking, Bob, that's very interesting because a couple of days ago, actually 2 days, yesterday, actually, I got when I was trying to log in from my phone, that's the first time I've ever saw that. It said, get verified. And of course, I had to do the selfie and everything. And I was, it was so late at night, I just said, forget it, because I wasn't sending anything. So I don't know if that's something they just started.
It is something they just started, but they're using, for some reason, not everybody does clear. It's a way to get through the airport faster. So I just can't get around that.
Well, you have Debbie, DEBI, space, Boris.
Yes, but my legal
certified
name is
holistic health
longer.
coach. Pardon me?
My legal name is longer, and it won't
But
let
you don't want that.
and I don't want I don't want my legal name on there.
Okay,
but it
no,
will
you're
not verify
okay.
me because of that.
You're okay.
So just don't do the verify.
Well, that's a good question, because I never did the verify myself.
If you can find that out, research that and let me know how I
Yeah.
can get around that long legal name.
I'm making a note.
Okay, thank you. And I think we're running out of time.
Debbie, you might also be able to email the LinkedIn support. You could Google what LinkedIn support is, and then they should respond to you, in somewhat of a timely manner with an answer.
Oh, they're not very timely, but thank you.
I know. That's why I said somewhat. I made sure to say somewhat because I know.
But thank you.
Well, listen, gang, we're 2 minutes after the hour, and then I've got another meeting coming up. So anybody else have any final thoughts they want to throw in here?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make this something we do, let's say once a month as a
You bet.
regular plan for a meeting. I mean, no one talked about what they did today, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad because we all know each other, but this was really, the time flew. And I hope that
Wait, by
you'll
the way,
do
I just
this
want to let
again.
everyone know I did not get hacked. When I'm looking at this, they've redesigned it, because if I go down further on here, it's under about. What they did was somehow the algorithm, they changed it around. I've got all the information that's on there, Bob. I'm looking at it right now. It's just restructured differently on my profile.
I'd rather see that in the heading than the about
I
page.
would too. I would too. So, but just to let you know, I can see all my information is there. It's just in a different place, and you have to click on it.
Okay, so I'll talk to my team about restructuring your profile.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm glad
Better
we
way to
did
end the
this.
meeting.
I'm glad we did this, because it's gonna point out to a lot of people some of the weaknesses that have not been really focused on. So it's not the about page that I'm more interested in. It's the profile, the heading right below your name. That's the first thing that people see. They don't see the about page. Okay. All right, gang, I am due for another meeting, so I'm going to sign off, and great meeting, I think.
Great weekend, everyone.
You too.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I think this is the value of meeting on Fridays, is that we support improving everybody else's LinkedIn page first. Then we'll bounce out to our Facebook pages so that they say the same thing, and then you get more traffic.
Yep, you bet. And then Mycity on top of that, gang, where we're taking it. I think you'll be very happy with what you see. Goodbye, all.
Goodbye.